Well, in Newsworthy Clips this month, we tackle some serious subjects as usual, and we talk about this heart attack treatment gel. When I hear the word heart attack, it's kind of a scary thing.
Yeah, it gives me a heart attack when I hear it.
This is something that a lot of people suffer from, and we have family members who have suffered from that, and of course, that's an extremely serious issue, David.
Yeah, it certainly is. But when I was reading about this treatment gel, I thought it was really quite interesting.
It is. So they can go in and they inject this treatment gel into the heart, and it is done in a way that doesn't require a major surgery. And so that is a key point.
That's the thing. It's, like, on one hand, I was a little bit freaked out by the idea of it being made out of the tissue from pig hearts. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
However, anything that is able to keep us from relying on invasive surgery is, I think, a really, really important thing. I mean, like anytime you can avoid cutting someone open and then going in and fiddling around with their organs, I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great thing. So I'm pretty optimistic about this kind of technology.
Of course, this is something that's new, right? So we'll have to do more research and trials, I'm sure, and so forth, or at least, we'll have to see how it does in more patients before we can, make a final conclusion. But it is promising. Well, on day 2, we change topics. We talk about something very serious as well, a global pandemic. Wow, this article, will make you kind of, evoke some fear in you, right? Do you ever consider, David, though, the possibility of having a global pandemic? Is that something you think about on a daily basis?
Of course it is. I mean, not on a daily basis.
Okay.
I'm a fan of science fiction, right? I like to write, I like to tell stories, and sometimes when you have these kind of science fiction stories that are set in the future, they'll kind of set up their world by saying like, 20 years ago there was a virus that wiped out, yada yada yada, and so now the world, everyone's living in one giant city. It's that kind of thing. People use that sort of stuff in science fiction stories. But granted, in this case, it's not science fiction, and I think that it is good for us to start thinking about preventative measures, because there are some places where there are a lot of people living in very poor conditions and very close quarters. So you have to be careful.
That's a key point. We don't need to live in denial. What can we do to hopefully prevent this? But we, of course, are not going around living in fear about this, but it's something to consider and work toward preventing. Well, which of the 2 items in our article on day 3 do you find most interesting? We talk about travel search engine and a beverage bottle. Do you think those would be useful for you?
Yeah, actually, I thought I think the travel search engine I've actually used before.
Really?
Yeah.
The trip finder?
Yeah. I think I actually used that to cancel a flight and then schedule myself for a later flight, and it was really easy to do.
Oh.
Yeah, so super useful. I thought that one was, I recommend it.
Yeah, and you can use it to search out tours, right? And they'll try to find a tour that's most fitting for you. So check that out. Check out all of our Newsworthy Clips articles, and stay tuned for the next Insights segment.